Hi guys, Lauren here. I wanted to come on and do a completely unscripted, unedited video because I have encountered a recurring issue when navigating my small business, and that is scams and phishing on the internet. It is really difficult to detect some of these, and so I thought it would be a good idea to share my experiences with some of you guys, especially if you're looking to start a small business. I'm going to try and keep this video relatively brief, but I'll tell you about the 3 types of scams I've encountered, how I recovered the funds, and then commonalities within scams that you can, like little things that you can basically use to detect whether or not you're dealing with a scam, and then other kind of mistakes or things to look out for when dealing with, contractors or with other companies, just navigating, running your small business. The scams that I have encountered, like I said, I've recovered all the funds from 2 of them. Luckily, I used Chase Bank business banking, and they were really good at helping me recover all of my money. And then the third scam I'm still in the middle of, so we'll see how that pans out. But the first 2 scams, one was a trademark scam. These are super common. Trademark Fortress was the name of the company. My advice for trademarks is do not use a third-party company like that unless you are like 100% sure that it's legit. Otherwise, I would just go to your local, find a local lawyer. So for example, in Houston, I ended up finding a lawyer in Houston who now is helping me with my trademark. Do not do it through some online company, you find out how much it should actually be costing you. My trademark total has cost me around $1,000, but with the scammers, they were trying to charge me for $6,000+. So definitely do your research. If you can find a small business locally that can give you a reference for something like a trademark or whatever you're trying to get, whether or not you're working with like a contractor that's online or just any third-party company, try to get a reference if you're going to go that route. Otherwise, for trademarks, use a local lawyer. Don't do what I did and use a fake company like Trademark Fortress online. The second one was a phishing email from Facebook. I am still locked out of my ads account. I can't run any ads on Meta or on Instagram now because I clicked a phishing link, and that person was in Poland. They basically hacked into my account and started stealing money from my credit card through the ads on Meta. And since then, my Meta account has been restricted. I have not been able to get back into it. I've contacted Meta a million times. So phishing emails, if you think the email is suspicious, do not click any link. Just generally speaking, avoid clicking any link. Meta, Twitter, these guys, they generally will not, or X, they will not send you links to, a payment or something within an email. Usually they'll say that you have to go log into your account and then do whatever you need to do that way within your account. That's secure. Do not click a link that's going to take you to an external location or external website, because that's usually going to be phishing. And if you're suspicious, just go the safe route and don't click it. Go log into your account. You can call or chat with the support team there and ask them if there's some sort of problem or if the email that you got was legit. And then the last scam that I've recently been a part of was a procurement scam. And I'm seeing these come up in my inbox all of the time running a retail small business. I have, people from Europe and from the US, they're emailing me, asking me to place urgent large orders for items. And long story short, it is a scam. Don't do it. If they want 100+ units of something and it has to be so urgent, it's a little bit suspicious, especially if, for example, I'm a retail business. I am purchasing items from my small business suppliers or commissioning those and then selling them to the end customers. If I were a procurement business, I would be going direct to the suppliers, not to a third party like myself. I'm essentially a middleman, right? So it doesn't make any sense. And so that all brings me to the commonalities of these small business scams. One is urgency. If they tell you that you have to do something now because there's some sort of time constraint, this goes for any sort of business deal actually, but it's a very common thing within scams. And this is what happened in the most recent scam. I thought that this wholesale deal was so urgent. I had to get it done. They push you to do that so you don't think, right? You don't have as much time to think about what you're actually doing and take a step back. Again, if you're doing any sort of business deal and it's, a bit of a bigger deal, you shouldn't be pressed to make a decision that in most circumstances that quickly, right? Especially by somebody that you don't even know online. So looking back, I can't believe I even fell for this most recent scam. I feel pretty dumb, but at the end of the day, like, you have to learn from it and you have to do everything that you can to make the best out of the situation. That's why I'm making this video. So that's one, urgency. And then two, just follow your gut, I would say. With all of the different scams, I remember having like flickers of doubt in my mind, and obviously I was right. So definitely like go with your gut and listen to your instincts, listen to others around you. Like, I told my husband about the procurement scam deal, and he was like, oh, that seems strange. Why isn't this guy going directly to the supplier? Why is it so urgent? And I was just kind of ignoring the questions because I wanted to get the deal, and it was a lot of, units in a short period of time. But that was me, being too enthusiastic and being greedy and not listening to those around me that were trying to maybe show me a different perspective. So don't be stubborn like me. And then the third thing I would say is do your research. Again, if you're going to work with any sort of company, online especially, whether it's somebody that you're contracting on Upwork or a trademark company that you're going to work with, third party, be very, very careful about who you decide to do business with, always, and do your research. If I'd done a little bit more research for the trademark one, I would have found on Reddit that there was a whole entire thread about this scammer company, and I would have found out that it was a scam before even, starting that trademark process with them. Another thing is that they are very good at what they do, okay? So if it seems legit, but you're still having doubts, just be cautious. Don't proceed, because they make the scams seem so realistic. They make the emails seem very, proper. The trademark, they actually filed the trademark for me. I could see it at the USPTO, the Patent and Trademarks Office in the US. I could see it online. Long story short, they didn't do it correctly. They were taking a bunch of the money. They overcharged me, all of that stuff, right? So they are very good at this. It will seem legit, but it's not. Those are pretty much the main things when it comes to getting scammed. They're going to make it seem urgent. It may seem like it's legit. Just go with your gut. Be much more cautious than you think you need to be. Listen to the people around you trying to give you advice or warn you. Don't be stubborn, and do your research online to avoid getting scammed in the first place. If you are scammed, what you can do is, you can do a couple things. You could file a police report if, for example, the scammer is in the US. You need to contact your bank immediately. Do not block. I would say, this is just my opinion, but I didn't block the scammers on email because, for example, with the trademark, if they were going to keep emailing me, trying to get me to pay them or whatever, I wanted those emails to come through. I wouldn't reply, but I wanted them to come through so that I could use them as documentation when filing any claims with my bank. With your business, pick a good bank that's supportive in general. Like, for me, Chase Business has been really, really great. I know Amex is also very good at helping people get through their claims. In the case of the procurement scam that I'm currently figuring out, long story short, had a bunch of packages sent over to this customer. The customer, their money bounced. Never bounced, and then I got a notification from my bank that, the funds didn't arrive. Never, ever send an order or, make a deal with somebody before the money hits your bank account. And if a person online is trying to get you to pay them in a specific way, like QuickBooks, where you just tell them you want, for example, an ACH transfer, standard bank transfer, and they say, oh, we have to use QuickBooks because it's part of our financial procedures. That's a red flag. That just happened to me with the procurement scam. Long story short, they paid via QuickBooks using a credit card, and then after I had already sent out the inventory to them, they canceled the payment on their back end. So when it comes to finances, do not take any action of shipping anything or finalizing any deal until the money is in your bank account. It seems obvious, but again, when they're pressing you for an urgent deal, you want to make that deal happen as quickly as possible. And sometimes if QuickBooks says, oh, the money's on the way, you're going to say, okay, well, I'll just send it. That's exactly what I did, and that was a big mistake. I'll keep you guys posted probably on Instagram of how this pans out, but I might have a whole bunch of candles to sell soon, so I'll probably do like a buy one, get one type of deal to hopefully recover as many of the lost funds, as much of the lost money as I can. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. At the end of the day, if you are being scammed or if you were scammed, I hope that it works out all right for you, that you can recover as many of the funds as possible. And again, just take as many precautions as you can operating your small business, because it is very tricky out there. It happens to the best of us. So yeah.